Folks, hope you guys enjoyed the couple days off because we are on to the quarterfinals of the 2022 World Cup. First up today, it's Croatia, the only number two team to make it out of the round of 16 as they face off against tournament favorites Brazil. Hello, everyone. I'm Kirsten Hassan once again back here in my little safe spot here in Cincinnati, Ohio. Hope you guys enjoyed the couple days off, but boy, oh boy, is the action heating up from here on out. Let's take a look, that being said, with the starting lineups. We'll start off with Brazil making no changes from their win against South Korea on Monday. You're going to have Alisson in goal, Danilo, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, and Eder Militao across the back. Casemiro and Paqueta will be your holding midfielders. Vinicius Jr., Neymar, and Rafinha will be your attacking midfielders. Let's take a look now at some of the other stuff as we're underway here from Education City in their checkered outfits going from left to right. That is checkered with white and red. Brazil in their usual yellow tops and blue shorts going from right to left. So as I was saying earlier, Croatia, a little different. They made a couple changes from their penalty shootout win against Japan, as you have once again Livakovic in goal, but also there in the middle will be Sosa, Lovren, and Juranovic. In the midfield, once again, Kovacic, Brozovic, and Modric. And then up top, Perisic, Kramaric, and Pasalic. Pasalic and Sosa will be the new additions. Kramaric, who played on the right wing on Monday, will slide up top. So once again, played out there by Richarlison, goes out for a Croatia throw-in. There's a look at Zlatko Dalic, head coach for Croatia. Of course, has done quite a lot of work for this side, kind of coming through the ranks as well. Sorry about that. Just trying to find the right angle on here. Actually, you know what? I might have found it. And on the other side there was Tite for Brazil. So we're about a minute and a half through. Still 0-0 between Croatia and Brazil. Of course, as I said before, big match for both sides is you have Croatia trying to make it to the semifinals for the second consecutive World Cup, which has never been accomplished overall in program history for Brazil. This is once again, I believe, their eighth consecutive trip to the quarterfinals. However, they've kind of struggled overall, especially against UEFA teams. They have lost their last 5 knockout stage matches against UEFA teams. Of course, that includes a lot big ones. Lost to Belgium in 2018. I believe that was on a score of 2-1. Obviously, many of you guys remember the 7-1 defeat to Germany that Brazil suffered. Of course, goes down as one of the most infamous, but also kind of the most interesting ones. Nonetheless, this one's played short as Croatia whips this one into the box. That one's headed away. So good recovery there. Good work there. Also by the Croatians. Just let that be. Goes all the way back to Alisson. He'll boot this forward. Again, looking for probably a running Richarlison. Actually, might have been Neymar there in the middle, but either way, was booted back. Back with Croatia. Now on the attack. And with Pasalic. So a lot of work left to be done. Clear. And I think I'm going to take the one off the hook. Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay, well, that one's not good. Alrighty, back to the action. Long ball played forward, out toward Vinicius on the left. Vinicius now cuts inside. What can he do? Still dancing on the ball, cuts it inside. Now it's out with Paqueta, Casemiro. Now with that, it's played all the way back towards the center back. Once again, Silva and Marquinhos will be your center backs for today with Brazil. Marquinhos. This one clipped all the way forward. Once again, out towards Vinicius Jr. on the left. He'll clip this one. That's blocked away. Back out toward Vinicius. His shot. It goes right towards Livakovic. So here in the 5th minute, that is your first shot on goal of this match. Still 0-0 between Croatia and Brazil. Once again, Vinicius Jr., one of the Real Madrid guys, the 5 Real Madrid guys on this Brazil squad, of course, knows the Croatia captain well in Luka Modric, who has been playing, or pardon me, I should say there's a few, but 5 of the players from Brazil Modric has played with during his many years with Real Madrid. Of course, a lot of times with Real Madrid, a lot of champions won. One Champions League earlier this year, beating Liverpool. Of course, Karim Benzema, Ballon d'Or winner of France, unable to be playing in this World Cup though, but able to lead Real Madrid to victory. Luka Modric too, being one of those midfielders. Great midfield trio though, I'll tell you that. Toni Kroos plays for Germany. Unfortunately, he has retired from international football. Casemiro is playing for Brazil today, and then Modric. Speaking of Modric and Croatia, here they are on the attack, about 35 yards out. Good dancing moves there. So it's clipped out on the left now for Sosa, and it's cut away there. I'm going to try to see if I can get the stream up on Peacock. Nonetheless, here come Croatia the other way. This one clipped all the way out, and nobody was there to meet it. Seen out there by Danilo for a throw. So Danilo has been playing right back, but also in Suns has taken the shots at left back this year. It's kind of been a little of a 1-2 combo, and I think for Brazil too, it's next man up. Alexandro, nobody knows when he's coming back. Alex Telles too, who I believe started the match, at least match 3 against Cameroon. He, I think, may have something to say with it. So I'm going to try to move this here. So this one, nonetheless, still with Croatia, still at the midfield. 7th minute of play here. This one played up, played back. Okay, I'm going to have to get creative here. Okay. Okay, well, I learned something new. Nonetheless, still with Croatia, now it's going to go out for a free kick. There's a little miscommunication there. Ivan Perisic going over the top there, I believe. Don't have my numbers with me, but I think that might have been Marquinhos. Either Marquinhos or Militao. Put some volume on, get some ambience. Just looking here to see the numbers for Brazil. Looking at this too, Brazil, it's been a while since they lost it. 4-3, I believe, overall in quarterfinal matches, but 1-3 in the last 4. That is one of those losses being 2018, 2006, and 2010. Of course, in 2014 they beat Colombia, but then after that it was a little rough. Nonetheless, this one was a rough touch here by Rafinha, trying to go forward, ends up winning the free kick either way for Brazil. So it's a free kick for Brazil. It's taken quick. Just like that's back towards Croatia in the midfield. Back with Modric. Modric back out. Here's Perisic now on the left-hand side going against Militao. Perisic's cross, a little too far for Basilic, who was making a run. And with that collected by Danilo on the left. There's Vinicius back towards Silva, playing over towards Marquinhos. And with that, the Brazil attack continues. Now with Militao again. Interesting to see some of the guys playing for Brazil as well. Some of these guys playing over in Europe. A few guys playing in Brazil, as we saw a few of those guys playing, including Levitt Thorne, who came in the match against South Korea. Tite basically gave every single one of his players some time playing. Meanwhile, here's Vinicius, edge of the box, tried playing it out, and eventually it's clipped away there. Good work there by Sosa. And then also the other center back there, I believe, might have been Lover. Nonetheless, Brazil again might have gone out on the end line, and indeed it did. This was an interesting dribble there by Rafinha. Goal kick, 10th minute of play, still nil-nil between Croatia and Brazil. Sorry, I have to use my phone. I have to find the numbers for these guys. So either way, chances on both sides. Vinicius had a shot earlier in the match, was saved there by Livakovic. This one, still a match that can be up in the air, one may say. I think that's probably a good way to put it. And since Croatia, as I said, the only number two team to make it out of the round of 16, beating Japan on penalty kicks, actually conceded the first goal to Japan. Then Ivan Perisic ended up getting the equalizer. This one's a long ball played through for Charleston, and he tried to head it on to somebody. Either way, he was offside, so it doesn't count. So there's Lovren. That's weird. Oh, never mind. I was about to say, I was like, the announcers are calling out Sosa. ESPN's been reporting it, but can't find it. Well, he is number 19. If you're watching on the screen, my apologies for not getting this up earlier. 8. Modric is 10. Or sorry, yes, Modric is 10. Brozovic 11. A lot of these guys wearing the same numbers that they wore, especially for Croatia. Modric, Brozovic, Kovacic, all wearing their numbers from years prior. Ivan Perisic doing the same as well. Perisic actually, that too, had pretty much of an impact, especially in big games. Scored a banger in the World Cup final against France back in 2018. Primovic, number 9. Basilic will be out, I believe, in 15. And yes, indeed. Meanwhile, little pressure there by Neymar. And now it's Croatia who has to kind of work out of the back. Little change here for Juranovic. He's got some space. He's got the speed too. Gets it out towards Pasalic. Pasalic whipped it in low. Shot just trickles wide. Good chance for Croatia. And the running man there, Ivan Perisic, couldn't steer it on frame. Alisson remains untested in this one. Still nil-nil between Croatia and Brazil. Either way, though, a potent attack and great pace in the ball to set it up there by Juranovic, and Basilic with a good ball in. Perisic just couldn't steer it on frame. Still, what an attack. What a counter attack, too, for Brazil's side that was ready to kind of put Croatia in its depths a little bit. And it looks like Militao about to shake off something. He's stamping his left foot down, but either way, crowd's enjoying themselves so far, as they should. And you think about it for Brazil too, one of the best countries in the world in terms of soccer. And they were the favorites in 2018 to take home the title. Ended up not doing it. Favorites this year to take home the title. You never know. This one whipped in low, deflected away. First corner kick of the match. Perisic with the cross as it deflected off of Militao. So of course, a lot of guys in the area. If you're just tuning in, I'm just doing the notes. Nonetheless, ball whipped in by Modric, headed away there. Good work by Neymar and crew. Back towards midfield, still picked forward. With Brozovic a little too far for running Perisic there as it's rolled right back by Alisson towards Brazil. Casemiro taking off the ball, back with Modric, thought about the shot. Modric still surveys options, crosses this in, back post, headed away by Militao. Perisic, the target there on the ball. So Neymar, Croatia trying to say it went out of bounds, but either way, it was slide tackle by Brozovic, throw in for the Brazilians. Okay, numbers are up. But either way, what a good run there. Luka Modric just couldn't find Ivan Perisic there in the middle. Perisic, a guy I've been calling a lot recently. Look at his track record. Pretty good track record as well. 121st cap for him. He makes today for Croatia. 33 goals overall. That is actually the most amongst any player on the squad, even beating out Luka Modric, who's got him beat in terms of caps on the squad. And then, of course, playing his club days right now with Tottenham Hotspur. 15 minutes through, about 30 minutes past it. Both teams with decent chances. Only one shot on goal so far. This one, at least by Casemiro, tried to be pipped out on the wing, and it's a little too far in that sense off target. Goal kick for Croatia. So it's interesting to see here that, and I mean, some of it may be attested to Morocco. And obviously, a lot of people, I think that Group F was very interesting in the sense that with Belgium playing the way they did, it opened up the field for teams that I think were kind of average, or in a sense like not as probably big per se as some other teams in this World Cup, say like Brazil or England, compared to Croatia and Morocco. It really opened up the gate to see, what are the possibilities for this group and how far can they go. Obviously, Group F won, and Group F is also the only group to have both of their two teams representing them in the knockout to be in the quarterfinal. So it's quite interesting that way. And you think about it, Croatia, in terms of stats, pretty decent actually. They had a corner kick earlier today, and corner kicks actually have not been their cup of tea. That was only their 18th of this World Cup, second least amongst teams remaining. That's kind of a case too. You got Croatia towards the bottom in the stats line, of course, Brazil kind of towards the top, but then Morocco. I think in many cases, I might state this tomorrow when I call their game against Portugal, but they were towards the bottom in a bunch of stats, especially on the offensive side. Here's Neymar. Interestingly enough, too, just to get off that point, Netherlands has also been kind of a favorite to be second least in that category. They'll be playing Argentina, of course, a widely attacking side later today. Boy, oh boy, they look good. Netherlands also look good too. 3-1 win over the United States on Saturday. So that means at the end of today, we will have an idea of our first semifinal. Casemiro plays out towards Vinicius, 35 yards out from goal. Vinicius toe pokes across them, too far for Charleston. Paquetá brings it down, trying to play through for Rafinha, and it's good work there by Sosa to just cut it out, sends it out for a Brazil throw-in. Again, you have to give credit to both sides. They're really showing out today. Here's Richarlison, again, taking off the ball. Croatia, too, in sense, like I said, pragmatic side, they've shown it today. Modric now on the attack, getting some numbers forward, goes out to his right with Basilic. Here comes Juranovic on the right. Juranovic now cuts inside and gets it back towards the middle. Sent out here. In space, shot blocked. It's a good chance there by Kovacic. Just couldn't get something going. But you have to give credit to with Croatia there, the counterattack there, where, Luka Modric has probably 30, 40 yards of space, and he eats that space up alive in that spot. And even though he's 37 years old, he's able to get that traction going. Kovacic, now to Modric, pressured here by Vinicius. And with that, gives it back towards Lovren, and a little rough touch there, but nonetheless able to be controlled. Pasalic, Kovacic again. Sees the lineup out there with Perisic, picked off there by Militao. So 20th minute of play. Still 0-0 between Croatia and Brazil right here from Education City Stadium, who's hosted a lot of games, hosted on Monday, or pardon me, Tuesday, matchup between Morocco and Spain, in which Morocco ended up winning 3-0 in the penalty shootout after it was scoreless, 0-0 at the end of 120 minutes. Second consecutive World Cup in which Spain goes out in the round of 16. Luis Enrique has been fired. Here's Neymar out towards Vinicius. Vinicius now cuts inside, thought about the shot. Now he dances on the ball, plays with Neymar. Back towards Vinicius, shot blocked. Still there, and now cleared away by Sosa. Vinicius has been a power engine so far for Brazil. Only shot on goal in this one. Meanwhile, here's Neymar now. Neymar tracking inside. Neymar's shot goes right towards Livakovic. And again, boy, oh boy, you talk about Brazil. They love to play Joga Bonito, and boy, oh boy, their play has been bonito so far today. I'll tell you that. You look at that with Vinicius too. I mean, you think about it with all these guys. Like, one thing I've noticed too is a switch in Brazil. Hulk used to play on the right, and Hulk is well. You get the point. You get the point of that name. Meanwhile, here's Neymar, edge of the box, tried play through for Vinicius a little too far as Livakovic heads to his right. And I mean, those two are vibing together. We could see that there, of course. Both of them playing for big squads. Neymar playing for PSG, Vinicius with Real Madrid. And both of them kind of know that there's a little too much sauce on that one. But either way, you gotta be happy for Brazil, especially in how they've grown overall. Of course, thanks for tuning in on this Friday morning, at least morning here in Cincinnati, Ohio, here in the United States. Coolish weather, but of course, not as much as Doha, or in this case, Al Rayyan, where they're playing this one. But either way, nonetheless, good action so far, because we're almost halfway through this first half. Still 0-0. Both sides with some decent chances, most going to Brazil as of late. Back towards Livakovic. He will clip this out. It's out with Juranovic on the right. Lovren, and then back towards Livakovic. As I noted earlier at the top of the show, only two changes for Croatia, still rocking the 4-3-3 as they did against Japan. Pasalic will slide in at right wing. Kramaric was playing that position on Monday will slide it to the number 9. Sosa will check in at left back today. And for Brazil, no changes from the beatdown of South Korea. Guys scoring the goals in that one were Paquetá, Neymar, Richarlison, and Vinicius. Of course, a lot of them. Richarlison now with 3 goals overall, so he could potentially be in the mix for a golden boot. Neymar with 2. Here's Paquetá. Clips this one into the box, a little too far as Lovren just heads it up as far as Richarlison. Richarlison plays to Paquetá, deflected, and it does skip wide. Pardon me, it was Casemiro with the chance. Either way, the Manchester United man just skips it wide and will probably go out for a corner kick here, I would guess. And indeed it will. So nonetheless, 24th minute of play. Rafinha will be the one taking this one in. Far side of the pitch for Brazil. A lot of tall trees in the box. This one swung in, and nobody can get ahead to it. Cleared away by the Croatians. Modric tried getting on a counter. He'll go down, and it's a free kick for Croatia. Looked like might have been, I couldn't tell who it was, might have been Paquetá there with the foul. Again, with that, back with Croatia, with Lovren too. Good run forward. This goes once again out towards Pasalic. Now back to the center backs here. We got Brozovic too, who Listed in the center, and we've seen this before with ESPN that many of the center mids, especially in 4-3-3, playing defensively. Meanwhile, Juranovic, the right back, gets forward, cut out there by Danilo going back, and Juranovic is now on the ground covering his face. With that, we have our first yellow card of the match going to Danilo. And with that, that's a dangerous position as well here in the 25th minute. Yeah. And it's lucky there with Danilo that it didn't end up scraping Juranovic's face. It ended up kind of hitting the core area there. Otherwise, that probably would have been a red card, and Brazil would be down a man. As noted, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this might be the case, but I think yellow cards reset after the round of 16, either after the round of 16 or after the quarterfinals. Either way, about 20 yards out, this will be on the right wing for Luka Modric. He'll be swinging in with the right. Could be direct if he wanted to go at that, but either way, would be a tight angle. Most likely, this will be indirect. 25 minutes through here. The Brazil fans right behind Alisson, the Brazil netminder. Vinicius, the only man in the wall for the Brazilians. Again, Luka Modric, the captain, 37 years old, whips this one into the box, and it's headed away. Good work there by Brazil. The long shot and the rebound will not go anywhere close. Neymar there with cutout, and I believe Richarlison's talking with one of the refs, maybe potentially get a free kick, but either way, not happening. How about Brazil's fans, though? Making the trip all the way from South America and all over the world in that aspect to come to Qatar, show their support for the club. I mean, they've been one of the most boisterous clubs, especially clubs and countries in this case, at this World Cup. Back towards Alisson. Once again with the center backs. Was Danilo, or pardon me, was Thiago Silva, it was Marquinhos, now it's Neymar. Back out on the wing for Vinicius. What can he do? He's got two guys on him. Tried getting past three, and it's a good cutaway there by Brozovic, who eventually picked off the pass. Brozovic still going with the challenge, and once again, the moon ball settled there by Juranovic. Yeah, the physical game so far, especially compared to the Bonito that Brazil showed earlier in this one, was Marquinhos, and once again, back to the center backs it goes with Thiago Silva, the Chelsea man. Marquinhos in space, going forward now with Neymar. Once again, center of the pitch, 35 yards out, taken off the ball, and it's back with Croatia's captain Modric. Out towards Brozovic again. So far, most of the pressures today have come from Croatia. Kovacic with 20, Brozovic with 16, Modric with 15. And once again, Tite's men who've had some chances early on, courtesy of Vinicius and Neymar. They have the two shots on goal in this one. Not much overall. And for Livakovic, too, for both of those shots, easy saves for them. Either way, this one given back. Here's Paquetá trying to play through there. And it looks like a man went down off the pass. Free kick for Brazil. And again, I think they're trying to rule potentially for a card here. One of the, I think, the specialties we've seen from Brazil so far. Either way, let's check in on the injured guy. As I said, it might have been Paquetá, but could have been someone else. It's actually it was Vinicius who went. So they're actually not even taking it from the initial challenge. They're taking it from when Vinicius was taken down. So free kick now for Brazil. Rafinha and Neymar over the ball right now. Neymar clipped this one back post, trying to get a shot to redirect it. There was Thiago Silva. Here's Silva now, who's tracking back. He'll collect it here, back towards Marquinhos. Marquinhos once again out on the wing. Who gets it here? Here's Paquetá. Now it's Rafinha. Paquetá back towards Militao, I think that was. Militao now crosses this in the header, just flicks wide back towards Juranovic, who was settling there in the middle. Very hard to see Brazil's numbers in this one, I will tell you that. Nonetheless, here's Juranovic again. Boy, does he have pace on the ball. Still going, as he did a little 1-2 there with Brozovic. Now clips it to the left-hand side. Good work there by Juranovic. Now it's with Perisic on the left. Ivan Perisic shot goes off target. 30th minute, and Croatia, although they haven't had most of the possession of this one, boy, have they looked sturdy on the attack so far. Juranovic today, I mean, I think you talk about it with the World Cup. You see it every World Cup. You have someone who just bursts on the scene you've never heard of before, and then you see Joseph Juranovic, of course, making his 26th cap today, playing with Celtic in Scotland. So, of course, not known for at least the major five types of stuff. But how about that? Juranovic burning Danilo and then Vinicius in play. Doing a good job in both of those regards. Pretty good. Pretty good overall, especially on the attacking side. Here's Neymar. Oh, nifty move. And with that, Brozovic just has to tag him down there. And with that, Croatia picks up their first yellow card of the day. Ball will be spotted about 40 or so yards out from goal. So still not a direct chance, but still, in the course of a few minutes, we have picked up 2 yellow cards in this one. I think Brazil was trying to go quick there. At least Neymar was. But either way, they'll reset this one. So as I said before, a lot of chances for both sides, a lot of chances for Brazil as well. Shots and shots on goal remain something they haven't done much of in comparison, believe it or not, despite their joga bonito-ness. Only 49 shots, 19 of them on goal, both of them third least amongst teams remaining. Also, possession too, 54%. Interestingly enough, the only team that holds possession for less than 50%. How about that, though, actually? Low key. Good win there. Who was that? I couldn't tell. Gavardio, the center back. So if you saw it there on screen, I mean, you probably know what I'm talking about, but he literally just split two Brazil defenders. Either him or and then Sosa too. Sosa, I think, was the one taken down. That's what they're showing on the replay. They need to show Gavardio's move again. That is a move. I mean, I've pulled that a few times as a center back on one guy, but never on two guys. That's impressive. I mean, I think whatever Zako Dalic said in the dressing room before, I mean, Croatia has to be proud of themselves so far. Doing well in the defense is here's Juranovic. He crosses this one in, going up back post with Perisic. Alisson goes off his line to just punch it away out towards Militao. It's actually Rafinha. Now here's Militao. Militao sends it up and once again headed back. Modric again. Out towards Pasalic, and with that, once again back towards Juranovic. Won't go on a dashing run this time, as once again Croatia used to looks to use more of the space. Oh, I know. I apologize, folks. Yeah, it's been a rough one. Kovacic once again Skamaric couldn't get to it. Richarlison fighting for the ball, lost it there. Nonetheless, chase is given. How about that? Rafinha, the one giving chase. And with that, just cleared up the pitch there. Juranovic, now with Modric. Those two have been interesting on the right. Juranovic, of course, playing right back. Modric, kind of your right center mid, of course, kind of played in that 8-ish role, at least in the 4-3-3 with Real Madrid. Showing that today. So not playing an attacking midfielder role, which is where we've seen him a lot, especially, I think, at the last World Cup in 2018. Now kind of playing in his usual position in the 4-3-3. That's kind of what you see, especially from star players. They'll play anywhere to try to help out the team. Kovacic again. Modric. Playing back towards the center back, still in Croatian territory. And with that, gives it out towards Kovacic again. Brozovic. Once again, 35th minute of play. So 11 minutes plus stop time left to go in this first half. Still nil-nil between Croatia and Brazil. And I think if this match is still tied as we head to half, gives a lot of momentum towards Croatia. Saw that in Morocco, Spain too, where as it went along, more momentum went towards Morocco because of the defense. Here's Modric. Tried pipping that out and tracking back there is Sosa. Back towards Gavardio. Back towards Sosa again. Pips this up and high. Trying to find Perisic. It was cut out there for the meanwhile by Brazil. Casemiro again. He'll pip this high up, going towards Neymar and Vinicius. Nonetheless, Gavardio just has to clear it off. Vinicius was breathing down his neck there. And once again, Croatia just hassled there in the middle by the Brazil pressure. Throw in now for, on paper, the road team today. We'll just give it back towards Marquinhos, now towards Thiago Silva. Marquinhos, now it's Silva. Possession so far has kind of been 50-50 in this one, although it seems like Croatia has had a decent chance there in terms of possession. Neymar out to Richarlison, tried taking a turn off the shot, but couldn't get a peg to it. Given right back towards Croatia. Juranovic played it towards the middle. Brozovic now dances, and either way, whistle will be blown there for a free kick. Modric went down, and Paquetá was the culprit there. Interesting note, too, you got Tite for Brazil and Zlatko Dalic for Croatia. Of course, both of those guys kind of coaching in their home countries for a majority of their careers. But for the most part, actually, kind of share one combination. Both of them, at one point or another, were the managers of Alain, which is a popular, or probably I should say, prominent team in the UAE, one of the most distinguished in the Middle East as well. So they actually spent some time in UAE coaching that team, Alain. Tite coached in 2007. Dalic ended up coaching them from 2014 to 2017. This one picked out by Pasalic out towards Sosa on the left. Kovacic, Brozovic gets a touch on it off the missed tackle, finds some space, cuts inside, and tried playing through there. Might have been going out towards Perisic or running Sosa, but either way, only passes it out on the end line. Goal kick. No shots on goal so far for Croatia. They've looked potent, but again, nothing on target yet. We got Brazil on the other side. Interesting stories, as I noted earlier. You've got Croatia, of course, trying to make it to the semifinals for the second consecutive World Cup. Of course, give at least a little limelight there. Meanwhile, hold up. Gavardio just passed it back towards Livakovic, and Livakovic picked it up. That was with the leg. It was not a straight back pass, but it might have been intentional there with the knee. And Brazil was trying to argue that. And meanwhile, here's Croatia now. Tried getting back with Pasalic. Modric now there. I don't think that's reviewable by VAR, but at least from the way I saw it, that could be a free kick inside the box. I don't know. The question was it intentional? But either way, here comes Brazil the other way. Good track back there by Juranovic on Vinicius. Of course, those two speed demons unto themselves. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Of course, I mean, a lot of people may have known Perisic, especially knowing that he scored against Japan in the 55th minute. But I gotta say, first time calling a Croatia match, I've been impressed so far by Juranovic. Paquetá, Marquinhos, now to Silva. So the ball slowly makes its way over to the right side of the pitch. Here's Rafinha. And a Paquetá again. Ball continues to be worked around, back with Neymar now at the center of the pitch. Silva Now to Marquinhos, 40th minute of play. So 6 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. Still nil-nil between Croatia and Brazil. Neymar tried playing it up there. Losing the ball was Rafinha. Vinicius couldn't sweep it towards Richarlison. Rough touch there by Basilic on the right. Throw in for Brazil. This is out towards Neymar on the left. Still working inside. Still going. Back heels it towards, I believe it might have been Casemiro. It's hard to tell the numbers for Brazil because you've got the bright yellow but also green in terms of the numbering. The numbering is in a green, light green color too. Paquetá, or Danilo rather. See my point exactly. Thiago Silva out towards Rafinha, Casemiro, Danilo. Once again, still worked around Silva. Now to Marquinhos. We're now 40 minutes through. Here's Neymar. Stops for a while. Tries getting past Juranovic and did for a meanwhile. It was actually Basilic there on the track back. Now Vinicius was swept there, taken on the ground. It's going to be a free kick for Brazil. Again, just on the edge of the box. Won't be a penalty kick. But either way, it was an interesting decision there. You had two Croatians sweeping through. And again, Vinicius might have flopped there, but in a sense, I think it was rather unnecessary. You've got Gavardio also in the middle, and it might have been Brozovic. And obviously, Vlatko Dalic not happy with this one. You're going to have Neymar about, I'd say, of course, the box is about 18 yards. So 18 yards, do a little Pythagorean theorem, it's about 20 yards or so outside from the goal, in which Livakovic sets up his wall. And you've got a few options for Brazil. It's going to be, I think, Danilo and Neymar standing over. Pardon me, Rafinha. Rafinha would be taken with his left, Neymar with his right. Three men on the wall for Brazil. Just showing the fastest goals of this World Cup. Of course, Telemundo doing it. The 42nd minute, Neymar takes it deflected right towards Livakovic. Again, took a nasty deflection. I wouldn't say nasty, but it was a slight deflection there, right in between the walls. An interesting decision there by the Croatians to just split the wall down the middle, and with that, actually went off Brozovic's head and right towards Livakovic. So once again, shots on goal have been plenty for Brazil, but nothing troubling the goalkeeper for Croatia so far. That is Livakovic, Dominik Livakovic. This one just has to be switched over here by Sosa. Juranovic runs to get it. 43rd minute, so clock continues to tick. Lovren pips this up, going for a dashing Vasilic, able to get there. Kramaric able to control. Is Brozovic. Out towards Gavardiol again. Now with Kovacic. Still with Kovacic. A lot of guys that play in big spots in this team. Of course, Modric with Real Madrid, as I said earlier. Kovacic, another guy playing with Chelsea. I don't know if he's still playing with Chelsea, but either way, had a great career. This one played through, looking for Perisic. Just seen out there by Marquinhos, who just played it back cleared for Militao. Further cleared by Paquetá, I believe. And with that, whistle's going to be blown. Paquetá went down there. He's holding his calf area. So, of course, not the best situation for him. Thiago Silva there. Speaking of guys who play at some big clubs, Thiago Silva, teammate of Kovacic there, at least at Chelsea, that is. Got a few guys there. Alexandro injured today. There's a lot of talk of whether he may come back or when he may come back in that case. But yeah, a lot of guys playing in Premier League. Paquetá, too. Playing with West Ham. Of course, knowing how this has gone, that is this World Cup, could expect him to make a big move to a bigger club. course, a lot of guys could be doing the same. Alex Telles with Sevilla, he's been making some minutes as well. Danilo, doing a popular move. Juventus. Either way, back towards the action. 45th minute, and once again, it was Brazil in the defense. Either way, called for offside. Let's take a look at this. I wasn't paying attention, obviously. So Gavardio going towards, I think, Kramaric there. And I think Kramaric was indeed offside. I don't find any problems with that. And of course, Tite there. Probably not what you want, especially for a team that was up 4-0 at halftime against South Korea. Of course, South Korea, what a story for them to beat Portugal, score the winner in stoppage time, ended up making it to the knockout, only to be crushed by Brazil, the favorites in this World Cup. That is by odds. The true favorites, not one of the favorites, the favorites to win this World Cup. Went out in the quarterfinals, though. Could be a chance they could go out today. 1 minute of stoppage time coming up here as we're 45 minutes through. Is Modric still surfing around back towards Lovren. Lovren, Modric, Gavardio. Gavardio once again finding some open space. He's still going on the ball. Tried getting out towards Perisic, and now he's got to get back. This one, good pick off there by Modric. Juranovic again. Kramaric, Modric. About 15 seconds or so. Here's Juranovic now. Played it in towards the middle. Pasalic out towards Perisic. Perisic, well, either way, whistle blow probably for offside, I would guess. So with that, about a minute through here, and with probably one kick of the ball by Thiago Silva, we should be on our way to halftime. Case in point. So we're 45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go here from Education City Stadium. Still nil-nil between Croatia and Brazil. Both chances, a lot of chances, that is, coming from the foot of Neymar. 2 shots on goal. Nothing so far on goal for Croatia, but boy, have they had the chances on some of their counterattacks. I'll take a quick break, and I'll be back for the second half right here on YouTube right after this. Good game so far, I'll tell you that. Just a few minutes, and the second half will start here at Education City Stadium between Croatia and Brazil. An interesting half for sure, but it's been mostly in favor of the Brazilians so far. Hello, everyone. I'm Mihirson Hassan, back with another live reaction, as has been the case today. Of course, later today, I'll be doing Netherlands against Argentina. Winner of that game will play the winner of this game between Croatia and Brazil. Of course, kind of a highly touted semifinal according to a lot of people. Argentina against Brazil. We could see a rematch of the Copa America final in the semis, but if there's anything the World Cup tells us, one, it's unpredictable, but also if something happened in the past few years, it's probably not happening again. I'll just tell you that. There's a good chance it won't happen again. I remember, what was it? 2018. I was predicting there to be like a France Portugal, which was the Euro final in 2016. Obviously, we're not going to get a Euro final this year, not just because there's very few European teams, but the fact that Italy, the team that won the Euro, did not make it. But nonetheless, a lot of action as well as we see here. Let's take a look at the stats. And actually, as we start off with the stats, I want to point out an interesting one for sure. Starting off with the fact that this is the 26th game at this World Cup that has been decided by, well, actually, I should say it this way. It's the 26th match at this World Cup that has been held scoreless at halftime. 26th match. That's crazy. The only World Cup that has in that regards. More scoreless matches at halftime was 1990. Of course, 1990 was quite infamous, of course, for the infamous back pass and caused possession to be the way it was. Possession was kind of rather retained, and because of that, there are not too many goals in that World Cup. 28 matches in the World Cup cycle. That's crazy. 28 matches were scoreless at halftime. 26 in this World Cup. Quite crazy, if you were to ask me. Quite insane. 26. You think about it, you got 7 games after this. You got 3 quarterfinals, 2 semifinals, a third place game, and a final. And you just need 2 of those to be scoreless at halftime. You tie the record. 3 of those to be scoreless at half, and you break the record. That's insane, in my opinion. If you think about it, in terms of how this World Cup's been paging out. You have 48 group stage matches, and then you have 8 round of 16 matches. This is game number 57. We've already got 26 of these matches being scoreless. That's almost half, a little less than half, but still half in all its general knowledge. Still quite impressive overall. Maybe not in a good way, since a lot of people love scoring overall. Looks like the teams are starting to make their way out of the tunnel in the dressing rooms for the second half of this one. As I said earlier, Brazil making their 8th consecutive appearance in the quarterfinals, but in the past 4 quarterfinals, well, I should paraphrase it this way. They've been 4-3, at least in the common way. That is how the knockouts have shaped up, where the World Cup has a group stage and then a knockout stage. Before there used to be like the group stage, second group stage, and all that stuff. But either way, in this modern format, Brazil's made it to the knockouts every time, and every time, save for one of them against Italy, which was 1990, they have made it. That being said, in the past 4 quarterfinal matches, they have been 1-3, and that one win came in 2014 against Colombia, 2-1 home turf. That being said, this game is wide open, especially for Croatia. Interesting battle as well, too. If Croatia were to pick up the win today, that is a straight win. Penalty shootout would not count as a win. Technically, a draw in that way. But overall, looking at these two sides against each other, Brazil leads the series 3 wins and a draw. Quite insane. Quite a good record, too, for the Brazilians playing their Joga Bonito. Their last meeting was in June of 2018, right before the 2018 World Cup at Anfield. Brazil ended up winning that one 2-0. There's Neymar trotting out of the tunnel. I found an interesting stat, too. In the 58 matches in which Neymar has scored, only once has Brazil lost, and that was to Germany back in 2011. So if Neymar gets on the board, there's a good chance this match could be headed in one direction. Croatia gets on the board, same thing could happen. Either way, it's a second half we're all going to be remembering too. The winner heading to the World Cup semifinals, the loser heading home. Back underway here at Education City Stadium. Brazil going left to right, Croatia going right to left now. And just to kind of add on to my point, I talked about this earlier, but this is going to be an emotional day at the World Cup. The fact that you know, Luka Modric, unless he was to play in the Euro in 2024, this is probably going to be his last major match at a major tournament. Now, Croatia, I think, has made a way for the Nations League final, but still, last chance for Modric to win a World Cup. If Croatia were to lose, that's what's going to happen. For Brazil on the other side, Neymar has made it apparent that this may also be his last World Cup, his last chance to win the greatest trophy in soccer history, also the greatest trophy in probably world sport history. To just expound on that. But either way, Neymar with an interesting chance as well, and probably his last chance too, to show what he's got. Of course, Copa America's coming up in 2024. Was supposed to be played in Ecuador. Now I think it's rumored it will probably be in the United States. Very similar to how Copa America Centenario worked in 2016. You have, as usual, the 10 CONMEBOL teams along with 6 CONCACAF teams playing in that mix. So it looks like there are no changes overall. Yeah, it looks like there are no changes. Brazil, well, according to Telemundo, Brazil's going with a 4-3-3, and Neymar essentially is playing that 10 role, kind of those sliding with Casemiro and Paquetá in the process. Speaking of which, there's Neymar there on the ball. So maybe Telemundo's onto something here. Casemiro plays it back, or played it forward rather. It's out on the wing now for Rafinha. Rafinha now plays it through middle. Save there. Great save there by Livakovic. Just got a peg on that to just kick it away. Otherwise, that would have been sliding into the net for goal number 1. Couldn't tell who got a shot on that, but holy smokes. Livakovic now with his 4th save of the day. This one once again pipped forward, looking for Neymar. Calling for a handball. Nonetheless, here's Vinicius now. Vinicius in a Neymar off the turn, deflected. Still up. Now to Vinicius again. And it's another save for Livakovic. Either way, offside for Brazil. But holy smokes. Just like that, stars show up in the World Cup. And it's showing up here. Dominik Livakovic. Let me go close the door. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, wow. Wow. So let's take a look at this. Neymar had a chance to take this off the turn. It was Gavardio there with the block. Just a great sliding block to read it perfectly. That was the initial chance there by Neymar. They're calling for a handball on Juranovic, and I think that's what the ref is looking at right now for a possible penalty kick for Brazil. Right now, Neymar and Richarlison have already kind of made the case that it probably was. And it looked like Juranovic, at least I'll demonstrate here, is kind of sticking out his left arm like this, excuse me. But either way, that one's still up. Haven't seen any ruling yet, and I don't think the ref's going to go to the monitor here. Interesting no call. Interesting no call from the ref as he deemed Juranovic, at least his hand, was in a natural position. Here's Gavardio back towards Lovren. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you guys who are watching the match might know what I'm talking about, but I think that was a missed opportunity there for Brazil. Missed opportunity, and I think a missed call. That I think should have been a penalty. Here's Sosa now. He was motoring forward. Now it's Pasalic going back towards Modric. And here we see Croatia now on the counter back towards Juranovic. Modric again. Kovacic. Modric again. Going on the right, pipped it forward. Juranovic now settles, fires, and his cross was deflected there. Good deflection, too. Fast one. I believe it was Vinicius there in the deflection, but couldn't tell. Either way, there's a lot of. I mean, I would guess Militao, but Militao is playing right back. Nonetheless, corner kick for Croatia coming up. Once again, 50th minute, approaching 40 minutes plus stoppage time here. Croatia once again knocking on the door. Modric whips this one into the box, headed up by Perisic, still in the area. Kramaric sends it across, and it's once again cut out and cleared there by Thiago Silva. Either way, offside was called there on Kramaric. It's hard to tell. I mean, could have been. No, actually, it wasn't. Good call there by the ref. Whoever was on that end line, I want to say, couldn't tell who it was. Might have been Silva itself. Either way, a lot of bodies in the box. Brazil got it blocked. Croatia's called offside. Simple as that. Players kind of interchangeable, but nonetheless remains the same. It's Militao throwing for Brazil. Modric strangled down there, and that's going to be a free kick without a doubt for Croatia. Brozovic now. And with that, I think it's going to take its sweet time and just passes it back there towards Lovren. Lovren out towards Juranovic again. Big shift today for him. This one pipped forward, headed away there. Good work by Marquinhos to clear that out. Back with Neymar now on the left. What can he do? In some space, decides to cut inside. Neymar tried going out, and Rafinha will cut back there. Nonetheless, Neymar remains down on the pitch. Rafinha got a little blocked away, cleared away by Croatia. And Kramaric will see this out. Thought it might have been a Brazil deflection, but either way, it's given back towards Brazil via throw-in. Marquinhos, Danilo, Vinicius again. Once again, back towards Juranovic, and nonetheless, the cycle continues, per se. Casemiro now in midfield. Now Eder Militao. Once again, back with Brazil. Back with Neymar. Tried playing through with Vinicius. Cut out there. Good work so far by Juranovic. Good one with Modric. And here come the Croatians the other way. Numbers coming back. Here's Pasalic now. He'll cut inside. Pasalic crosses this in. Out towards Perisic on the left. Perisic now cuts back. Crosses it in. Little too far for a running Kramaric there in the middle. And once again, the sequences continue for Croatia, just unable to get that elusive first goal. Or in that case, too, elusive shot on goal, too, I should note. It looked like Brazil's going to be bringing on Anthony any minute to come on here. So once again, out towards Danilo. Danilo, Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, Militao. That's your back line for Brazil. Kind of been on the counter today, at least in terms of defending. Although the case was like when Juranovic was bringing that attack forward, all those four guys were back, and you had the midfield coming back too. In sense, Croatia was outnumbered, but still able to get a chance off. And that's the other thing too, is Croatia's playing pragmatic, but you think about it, as long as Juranovic is on the pitch, and more importantly, he has stamina, I think Croatia, any of Croatia's attack can be potent in that regards. Neymar poked away out towards Danilo on the left. 55th minute of play. Now towards Richarlison. Tried getting off a turn. Plays it through. Here's Neymar. Saved again by Livakovic. Boy, oh boy, this guy is putting up a show so far. Probably the best goalkeeper's performance I've seen. Vinicius again, his cross blocked away. So as I said earlier, 55th minute, about 35 minutes plus stoppage time. There's a Croatian down, and this Juranovic holding his head. He's trying to shake it a little bit. Might have been a collision there with Neymar. Let's take a look at the sequence again. It was Richarlison there in the middle. It's a good turn to get away. And Neymar again finding the space, went left-footed and couldn't put it there. He's probably trying to split the legs of Livakovic there, Dominik Livakovic. Again, one of the biggest things I love about the World Cup is the fact that, even though Croatia's got that European in them, and obviously playing at UEFA, some of these guys don't play at big clubs. So they're getting these big moments, including Dominik Livakovic playing with the Dinamo Zagreb. So now we'll see our first change of the match. Anthony will be heading on. Can't tell who will be heading off, and indeed it's going to be Rafinha. So that's your first change of the day. Rafinha will be off. Anthony will be on. Now here's Anthony now. First touches on the ball, plays it out towards Richarlison. Cross in, little too far. You had, I believe, Paquetá in the middle if he wanted to get a touch on it. So once again, enjoying the excitement on a lot of people's faces so far. Still an open game, as I said, despite the 0-0. You think about it too, Brazil, despite the 7 goals they have scored, the only time they ever had a goal in the first half was against South Korea. Against South Korea too, 4 goals in that one. So 4 of their 7 goals came in that one match, meaning still an open game overall for Brazil. Modric plays it back, and once again with the center backs Lovren, now to Gavardio. Modric again. Now to Kovacic. Again, playing like a left back. A little change we've seen. Juranovic still playing in that right back position, but obviously a lot of changes overall. Just guys getting forward. Pardon me, it's actually Lovren. So Lovren, in sense, is playing more on the right as he should, right center back. Luka Modric playing a little farther back. A little more of a dynamic push there. Again, possession pretty much even, 43% for each side, 14% in dispute. Kovacic back with Modric. Well, that Luka sends it out. Good ball for Juranovic now. Kramaric once again goes out. Lovren thought about the cross, then just decided to pass it off. Still with Croatia, 58th minute here from Education City Stadium. Juranovic, Brozovic, back out to Juranovic on the right, down towards Brozovic. Here comes Croatia again. Handball could have been called there as twice, but nonetheless, here comes Brazil the other way. Richarlison playing through, can't find Vinicius there. Got a few blonde-haired guys out for Brazil. You got Richarlison, Neymar, and now even Anthony on the left. It's Danilo again. 59th minute of play. Going back and forth for the most part, but for the most part too, Livakovic has been the one making the saves. Out on the right, now cutting inside is Anthony. Richarlison tried taking a long touch, a little too long. No deflection, goal kick. Again, let's take a look at this. Rafinha playing through for Militao. Actually, I don't think Richarlison got a touch on that. It would have gone in for an own goal. There's Gavardio there with the touch, and Livakovic just had it cleared away there, and then eventually made another stop on Neymar. So far, so good for the Croatian netminder, of course, playing, making his 39th cap today out of Dinamo Zagreb. Brozovic back towards Lovren. Or rather, it's Modric. Modric still going and pips it right back. That one picked off there by Silva. Danilo, Anthony again, or pardon me, not Anthony, Neymar. Anthony's out on the right. Here's Neymar again, played it through, or at least he tried to, with Vinicius picked off by Lovren. Interceptions has kind of been the name of the game so far for Croatia. Kind of the case in this World Cup, too. 27, tied for the most amongst remaining teams. So far, they've been working today against a Brazil side that loves to play through, loves to play pretty, aka joga bonito. This one held by Lovren. So also important to note that since Euro of 2008, 7 of Croatia's last 8 matches in major tournaments, in the knockouts that is, have gone to extra time. 3 or 4 of those have gone to penalty kicks. Of course, in 2018, they're kind of the cardiac cats of this area. As here's Basilic. As I was saying, cardiac cats, they beat Denmark on penalties, beat Russia on penalties, beat England in extra time on their way to the finals, unfortunately losing to France 4-2. Here's Modric now on the right, still dancing, defended by 2 guys, brought down, no foul called. Back with Neymar and Brazil. Here's Paquetá, pressured on the ball there by Juranovic. And once again, here's Perisic even sweeping to try to get it back. And indeed, the Croatians get it back. Modric, now Perisic. Perisic tried playing back as Kovacic. Once again, you think about it too, Brazil, in that sense, they haven't faced that many shots on goal, and you can see why too, mainly because of their field players. Croatia's put on some shots, but no shots on goal in this match so far. Brozovic had to just get it away with Vinicius pressuring him. Modric and Brozovic, he'll play out with Kovacic. Kovacic, room to work, out towards Perisic, driven and low, and it's collected there by Alisson. Again, Zlatko Dalic. I mean, the thing is, both of these guys have been in coaching for a while. Dalic has been coaching since 2004. Again, this being his first stint with Croatia, Tite's first stint with Brazil. Took over in 2016 after the Copa America. After they went out, actually, Brazil went out in the group stage in the Copa America Centenario. First time ever Brazil went out in the group stage in Copa America. Probably, actually, they might have said in a major tournament period. First time Brazil ever went out. You think about it too, that includes the Champions Curse of '06. Went out in the quarterfinals. Lost actually to France in that one. Here's Neymar. Marquinhos. Thiago Silva. Listed as Silva's listed as a left center back, now playing right and vice versa. This one played through out towards Militao. He just had to slide to get the cross off and nonetheless cleared away by Lovren. Passes completed kind of not necessarily 50-50, but 351 in favor of Croatia, 329 in favor of Brazil. Going into today's game, believe it or not, kind of evenly matched in terms of passes completed. Croatia only with 1 more than Brazil, 1983 compared to 1982. Second change of the day is Vinicius Jr. will head off, and heading on, another Real Madrid man in Rodrigo. Was Rodrigo a guy, as I noted earlier, kind of been in the news a lot, especially earlier in this World Cup when he was interviewed by Ronaldo, not Cristiano Ronaldo, Ronaldo, the Brazilian player, the guy who won 2 World Cups with his side. And Ronaldo was interviewing Rodrigo, and Rodrigo kind of touched Rodrigo's feet, or Ronaldo's feet, at the end of the interview in a sign of grace and gratitude. Here's Marquinhos, now out with Rodrigo. A lot of blonde-haired guys out on the pitch for Brazil. One of those guys, Neymar. Take it down here. Free kick for Brazil again. 65th minute. Could be in a dangerous position as Brozovic was the man there. Neymar again suffered an ankle injury in the match against Serbia, was out for the rest of the group stage, able to come back in the match against South Korea. So free kick here. I don't know what's happening. Wi-Fi is off. Apparently it's a 5G Wi-Fi, doesn't activate. So it should be Neymar taking this here. He's the only man there, two men in the wall for Croatia. Meanwhile, it's never mind. It was Casemiro trying to shoot that one. So all the hype for Neymar was for nothing. Neymar out with Rodrigo. Rodrigo now cuts inside, plays it in, looking for options. Paquetá in the middle. Paquetá still going. And Livakovic with another big save for Croatia. It's hard to count now, but I would probably guess his sixth or seventh save for the Croatians in this one. Boy, oh boy. If Croatia were to get out of here with a win, that, my friends, is your man of the match. Neymar now whips in the corner, crossed in, still in the middle, now cleared away. Now it's still up in the air, still played back, now forward, now in the middle. Militao with a chance, and Rodrigo couldn't get there. The rate it's going, Brazil would have to shoot off a golazo to get past Livakovic. Marquinhos. Rodrigo, now to Neymar. Thiago Silva out on the right, now Anthony. Anthony, dancing moves against Sosa. Unable to get through, just gives it back, and now Anthony once again plays it into the center here. Marquinhos out towards Rodrigo on the left. What can he do? Rodrigo goes that line, tracked back there by Pasalic and Juranovic, and gives it back once again towards Brazil. Back with Marquinhos. Or, yeah, it was Marquinhos, pardon me. Now here's Thiago Silva, 35 yards out, clips this forward, headed away by Juranovic. In the box, now outside of the box with Pasalic trying to get back. Pasalic still going, as now it's Kramaric on the ball. Croatia trying to cause a counter here as it's Modric, and now they'll give it back towards their center backs. Not until a whistle is blown. Kramaric, I believe, taken down. Yellow card once again for Brazil. And again, it's good work there by Kramaric to take it back. Casemiro is going to be called for the foul. And I think Brazil's got a good case in the sense that he didn't deserve that call, in the sense that Kramaric mostly flopped there, but because it was in transition, yellow card has been given towards Casemiro. It's Kovacic, Juranovic, back with the Celtic man, now with Brozovic. Gavardio. Gavardio setting it up, looking for Perisic, who couldn't get control nor send it towards Kramaric. Now it looks like we might see Croatia making their first change of the day, as we see some subs getting off the bench. It's Marquinhos now. It's Neymar. Neymar pipping it forward a little too far for Paquetá, who's now played higher up the pitch. There's Kovacic there. Actually, in his pass back towards Modric, nutmegged Anthony there. Nifty work. 70th minute, 21 minutes plus stoppage time left. If it's still tied, we go to extra time, which will last 30 minutes. Still tied after that. Penalty kicks to decide who faces either Netherlands or Argentina in the semifinal. Brazil trying to get in the top four. They kind of struggled a little bit in the quarterfinals over the past few World Cups. Croatia trying to make it back to the semifinals. They were runner-ups in 2018, so trying to make it back to the semifinals for the second consecutive World Cup, which has never been done in history. Also, probably has never been done in European history in a while, now that I think about it. Nobody there. 2014 might have happened with Germany in 2006, 2010, potentially. I would say that in terms of if you're just tuning in, I'm thinking the last time a European team went to the semifinals in back-to-back World Cups. Of course, Brazil has done it many times. So has many other South American countries. So has Argentina. But at the moment, still it's all Croatia. It's Modric, Brozovic out in midfield, still holding on, kind of playing a private game with Modric and still playing it. Now out with Lovren. Lovren pipped out towards Juranovic, and with that he'll cut back for a while. Gavardio, now with Modric, has been playing a little lower back. We saw this against Japan too. Out towards Juranovic again. Now with Brozovic. Brozovic's cross blocked away by Neymar, shoved down there to the ground. And with that, it's a free kick towards Brazil. And with that, we'll see a couple changes coming on for Croatia, as will be number 16 and number 13. So checking on will be Nikola Vlasic and Bruno Petkovic. So it looks like it would be Kovacic, the man heading off. Kovacic and Pasalic will be the men heading off. First changes of the day for Croatia, or actually rather it would be Kramaric. So Kramaric and Pasalic, expect maybe one of these guys, maybe Modric even, to play higher up the pitch. Kramaric will head on. So we got Kramaric heading off. Petkovic will be heading in his spot. Bruno Petkovic making his 27th cap, looking for his 7th goal overall. Boy, would it be a big one. Pasalic will be heading off. Nikola Vlasic will head on. And Vlasic could be a guy with some attacking power and pace in this Croatia lineup, something they may need. Looking at Vlasic, yeah, making his 46th cap, the Torino man, with 7 goals overall. So both of those guys, kind of your powerhouse midfield type players. I have some legs too. Of course, that's very important as we head down the stretch, especially knowing that this one could head to extra time. Rodrigo now towards Militao. Out on the right for Anthony. Anthony now cuts inside, goes down. No foul called, says the ref. Perisic picked up by Anthony. Back with Brazil, Casemiro. Now with Neymar. Cut off the ball there by Juranovic. Boy, has he been stagnant in the defense. I'd be very surprised if Dalic were to take him off, unless he was to lose some legs. Neymar again. Here's Neymar, crossed it in. Might have been a shot. Either way, it was right towards Livakovic again. So you have Neymar in fantasy. You're probably doing a good job. Not getting the goal, but still getting those shots overall. Obviously, I'm watching the stream on my laptop. So it's got a little more screen. I can see the players a little bit better compared to my phone. So that means I'm not looking at you guys the entire time, but or at least that's not my intention. But overall, not too bad. Kind of reminds me of when I called games with ESPX. This one clipped out there by Petkovic. You got Petkovic, number 16, Vlasic, number 13 on the pitch. Modric has a rough touch there. He knows that Kovacic was the man there, trying to control it, couldn't. Throw in for Brazil. 15 minutes plus stoppage time left in this one before we could head on to extra time. Militao the fiddle, and now once again it's back. So I don't know what's happened with this. I'd have to check it out. Might be something with my Wi-Fi overall. I know a few times whenever I've done these streams, like my stream is just conked out and my face is just frozen on there. But I don't know. Here's Livakovic just booting it forward. Modric out there with Brozovic. Brozovic out with Gavardio. Livakovic again sending it forward back towards the midfield, headed away there. Good work by Danilo and crew. So once again, here's Rodrigo, who's tracking back with Richarlison, in towards Neymar. And again, holy smoke, Livakovic with another big save in this one. So if you took Livakovic, you're so far having a good day so far. So back once again with Brazil, Neymar to take the corner kick here. This one whipped in near post, still bouncing around. Rodrigo was the nearest man, so is Marquinhos. Modric on the counter goes down, free kick, yellow card for Marquinhos. Just like that. Kind of tic-tac-toe in that regards. But nonetheless, Luka Modric, 37 years old, but still having the legs to do counterattacks like this. Oh boy. This is going to be a fun ending, I'll tell you that. Let's take a look here at the other big save by Livakovic. Right in the middle, off of his left peg. Meanwhile, here's Vlasic now for Croatia. Went down, and since it's actually going to be insult to injury, as one of the Brazilians went down there, so it's a free kick for them. So you got 3 yellow cards for Brazil overall. They're quite a disciplined team going into this knockout stage game, I believe. 3 yellow cards. Third least going into this match. They've already matched their total of this entire World Cup in one match. So kudos to Croatia too on the counters and putting Brazil in the interesting situation they've been in that situation. Militao, Silva, and a Marquinhos. 70th minute of play. So once again, regulation continues to tick down here. Most of the chances going to Brazil in the second half, but unable to break the deadlock. Here's Richarlison, back out to Neymar. Richarlison tried getting it back, a good poke away there by Brozovic. Once again, bodies go flying, goes in favor of Croatia. Once again, oh boy, oh boy. You think about it too. If Croatia were to pull upset today, how many brackets are going to be collapsed? I was looking at ESPN. I believe 27% of brackets said Brazil was going to win. I actually had a few brackets that I had Brazil win, although Argentina is my first favorite to win it all. This one picked up and a little too far there. Perisic was the target. Could see Perisic coming off. We saw him come off in the match against Japan that ended up going to extra time. Croatia won that one. It was 1-1 at the end of regulation. Croatia won the penalty shootout 3-1. And Livakovic has already provided some heroics. Could be more coming up. As I said, sometimes the good thing about these tournaments, sometimes the Cinderella runs. Especially Croatia, too. Nonetheless, Modric going the other way. Livakovic is going to hold on to the ball here. That might have been the rough decision because you got Modric there who was looking for a through ball. So not the best decision there by Bruno Petkovic. Now with Neymar. Neymar clipped out towards Militao. Militao now with Anthony going end line against Sosa. Now tries to split the middle. Nonetheless, cross sent into the box too far. Rodrigo now nails it. The shot by Paquetá goes right towards Livakovic. Boy, oh boy, Brazil continues to knock on the door, and Croatia continues to find an answer to every shot. Once again, remaining couldn't put that one in the back of the net. I think it's been Neymar and Paquetá with the most shots on goal for Brazil so far. There's Sosa just picking it up. Pekovic tried getting something back, but again, I think Croatia had a missed opportunity. Modric could have squared it away. Paquetá now with Marquinhos. Already seen two penalty shootouts in this World Cup. Of course, Japan, Croatia one, Morocco, Spain the other. So you think about it, in both of those matchups, undeniably the favorites per se ended up going out. Japan, the one seed in Group E in the group of death, losing to Croatia, and then you had Spain, despite being a two seed, losing to Morocco. Anthony again playing through, at least he tried to play through for Paquetá. Paquetá was been playing higher up the pitch, was kind of a holding mid close with Casemiro, now playing a little higher up, almost like a second striker. Juranovic again with Brozovic, Vlasic rather, pardon me. Back with Brazil. Seeing the story again. Can can the flip be script a little bit? How with Rodrigo? Rodrigo now to the middle. Header by Richarlison just goes over the bar. Again, Rodrigo's kind of been dynamic in terms of playing on the pitch, and it's definitely shown here. So back with Croatia we go. Back with Lovren in that regards. Brozovic now out on the right again. Modric played there. Vlasic tried keeping it in play. Back with Brazil. We've seen this story before, as I've said many times before. Rodrigo taking off the ball. That's still going. How about that dribble? Great dribble overall. Free kick given. Although Vlasic may be down there. Absolute spectacular. Getting past three guys there on the left-hand side for Brazil. You got Danilo, Paquetá, and I think it was Danilo there. And it's good there with Danilo that they didn't give him a yellow card as well because he's already on one. Would have changed momentum in a big way in this match. Third change coming for Brazil, as it's going to be Richarlison heading off, and heading on in his spot will be number 25 for the squad, Pedro. Pedro, one of the three guys that is currently playing in Brazil, will be making his fourth cap overall. One goal in his history of playing with the Brazil national team. Modric out there. Vlasic couldn't keep it in play, but it was deflected. So we're approaching 84 minutes, so okay, the 85th minute. 6 minutes plus stoppage time left to go. Maybe a chance for Croatia to pull a major upset, probably the biggest one in this World Cup so far, if they were to beat Brazil today. Juranovic is going to back up a long way to send this one into the box, treating this like a usual attacking set piece. And indeed, he does so. High into the box it goes. It's now with Vlasic in the middle. Vlasic cross blocked. Now still in the area. Now cut away there, but given right back towards Brazil. Silva out towards Militao, and Alisson couldn't find Militao on the right. Deflected out, throw in for Perisic and Croatia now. But that will see a difference. Use of ball, of course. Weston McKennie had to kind of wipe the ball in his hands on one of the photographers, as we saw in the match with England and the U.S. Sosa now on the ball. Sosa with space. Sosa lost the ball there. Once again, taken off. Too many touches. And here we see Brazil again. Rodrigo out to Neymar on the left. Options both sides. Out with Danilo on the left. Danilo now back towards Neymar. Neymar back with Danilo. Now it's played with the middle. Casemiro, good take off the ball there by Petkovic, who was tracking back. Paqueta, now with Anthony. Anthony now plays it across. The shot deflected, blocked again. Rebound goes wide. Another good chance there. And Militao, the right back, couldn't steer it on frame. Was deflected, so it's another corner kick for Brazil. The fans on their feet trying to make some noise and break the deadlock late in this one. Here we go. Anthony whips this one in, headed away. And the Croatian defense still remains a brick wall. Of course, their biggest brick wall, the biggest piece in that wall being Dominik Livakovic, their goalie. About 7 saves on the day so far. Holy smokes. What a game. What a game we are seeing here. Let's look. All the fans on their feet. Ronaldo up in the booth, still watching this one. Cheering on Brazil. There's Brazil playing for 6th title, playing for Pepe. Was unfortunately been hospitalized for a lot of this World Cup. There's a lot of not just Brazil, but a lot of the other players globally giving him a lot of love and support during this rough time. How about that too by Pedro on his feet, tried getting it past Gavardio. Once again, Tite gives out his instructions. About 3 minutes plus stoppage time to go. If it's still tied for Croatia, it will be their 8th game out of 9th since Euro 2008 that has gone to extra time. That is knockout stage games. Modric again on the end line with Sosa, Kovacic, still pressured, now with Gavardio. Brozovic just has to pip this over towards Lovren. Modric again plays this through. At least he tried to block there by Anthony, who's back. Once again, out to Modric again. Out with Kovacic. Space. Kovacic played through. Again, tried to play through. That's been kind of my favorite line to use today. Sosa into the box. Out towards Petkovic. Petkovic can't get a touch on it. Rather indecisive in big moments today, Bruno Petkovic. Kovacic again. Gavardio. Sosa has to track back and get it after Brozovic couldn't. Now it's Brozovic again, 40 yards out. It's Gavardio again. Stream continues to conk in and out, but nonetheless, we continue. Brozovic out towards Lovren. Lovren now back towards Modric. Modric again pipped out towards Perisic. Had somewhat of a touch on it. Sosa whips it in, and that's one's headed away by Silva. About a minute to go here in regulation. Neymar on the ball, plays out towards Rodrigo. Numbers going forward for Brazil. Cut away there. Good work by Juranovic. I talked about Livakovic potentially being man of the match. In terms of field players, I think for Croatia, it's got to be Juranovic today. Josip Juranovic. Petkovic taking off the ball. He's not going to get the foul. Neymar pipped forward, looking for his man Pedro, who couldn't get there. Well, what a goal that would have been for Pedro. Once again, ball continues to be worked around. Back with Neymar. Kind of playing your center attacking mid today. Anthony again. Anthony crossed into the box. That one headed away by Gavardio. Back with Brazil. Here's Danilo. Now to Casemiro. 90 minutes through here from Education City Stadium. 4 minutes of stoppage time coming up. And I would guess if there's a goal scored here, that will end up being the game winner. Neymar now. Neymar plays it with Rodrigo. Rodrigo can't square it. Corner kick for Brazil. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. This is going to be an interesting one. This one, to start off the quarterfinals, too. 0-0, but it's coming down to the wire. Rodrigo now whips this one into the box, headed away by Lovren. Powerful one, too, as it's sent about 30, 35 yards out. Back with Brazil off the throw-in. There's a Rodrigo that scored a hat trick coming off the bench for Real Madrid in the Champions League semifinal earlier this year against Man City. Neymar, a man who needs no introduction. A lot of big guys. Richarlison's on the bench. My apologies. Casemiro picked off. Another guy with Real Madrid, currently playing with Man U. Nonetheless, Petkovic giving some chase to the ball on Silva. Danilo will track back to give full possession towards Brazil. Casemiro pips it forward, and once again, Lovren and Croatia cuts it out. Handball? Yes, indeed. Handball there called on Anthony. So once again, bodies will move up the pitch. Free kick for Croatia in the defensive half. As we're starting to approach halfway through the stoppage time period, it looks like we could be well on our way to extra time, unless we see something in these next few minutes. Brozovic, Modric, now to Gavardio. Back with Modric, sends it out towards Brozovic now on the right towards midfield. Still some time as Brozovic once again pips it back. Gavardio, some space ahead of him. He'll trot right now and once again flip it back out. Could be onto something, Croatia. Brozovic now, readies, fires the cross, deflected, headed up in the air by Marquinhos, and a further one by Paqueta. Here comes Rodrigo now on the counter. Modric pushed him down. With that's a free kick for Brazil. This one coming down to the wire. Rodrigo there called for the foul. No yellow card given to Modric, at least from what I've seen so far. Could have been a cause for a counter. Either way, fans on their feet trying to make some noise. A lot of tension building as well, especially for Brazil trying to make the semifinals, trying to get themselves their first cup since 2002 for Croatia. Again, had they beaten France, they would have won their first cup in 2018. Trying to get back to the semifinals, trying to get back to the finals too. Here's Neymar, Paqueta, Casemiro once again out towards Anthony on the right. About less than a minute to go here. As Anthony cuts inside, Anthony's shot right towards Livakovic. Again, that guy has been having a day so far. And another easy save for the Dinamo Zagreb man. So 4 minutes of added time. And with that, the 90 minutes are up. Still 0-0 between Croatia and Brazil. Obviously, Brazil with most of the chances. Croatia not even registering a shot on goal in this one. So we take a quick break, a few adjustments by the managers, and then I'll be back for extra time. Stick around, folks. You're watching my live streams of the World Cup right here on YouTube. So at the end of 90 minutes, it is still 0-0 between Croatia and Brazil. Once again, I'm Hirson Hassan. Thanks for tuning in on this Friday morning. Well, now it's afternoon here in Ohio, here on the East Coast. But either way, what an event we have seen so far between these two sides. Got Croatia on one side, Brazil on the other. Two guys, if you think about it, could have faced off in the final had Brazil beating Belgium at the stage in 2018. Croatia again, Cinderella run for them. Nobody expected them to be first in the group back in 2018. Ended up making a run, beating Denmark on penalties, beating Russia on penalties. That was a crazy one too, as both teams scored in extra time, and then beating England in extra time to pull off a comeback in that one. Of course, for Brazil too, it's been a while since they've kind of faced a lot of torment that is in extra time. I'm just taking a look at some of the stuff here. We've only seen one straight red in this World Cup. A few guys on a yellow card. Brozovic, the only guy for Croatia. Marquinhos, Casemiro, and Danilo. All guys that could be making important tackles for Brazil, all on a yellow card. Something to probably keep note of as we start here. Brazil still in the huddle. Croatia back out. And before we officially head to the action, let's take a look at the stats. About 50-50 either way. But 15 shots, 8 of them on goal for Brazil, 6 shots, 0 on goal for Croatia. Most of the attacking momentum with Brazil, but the defense for Croatia has been quite stagnant so far against Joga Bonito. Luka Modric and Thiago Silva, their respective captains, will choose their side after they meet up with the refs. With that, ball's currently in the center circle, right in the heart of it, as they're back. Of course, is Brazil went out at the stage, and especially for a high caliber side like Brazil, the question becomes: do you maybe fire Tite if you don't win this? That's of course a big question. We've seen it with a lot of big clubs. Luis Enrique got fired from Spain after they suffered another round of 16 exit, this time to Morocco. With that, we're underway here for the start of extra time. Last game here at Education City Stadium in this World Cup, and boy, oh boy, has it seen something. I believe Education City Stadium was the one that hosted Morocco. It hosted one either or. I think Japan Croatia was at Al Janoub, but this one, um, Morocco Spain on Tuesday was here. So quite a quick turnaround again. Education City Stadium. Props to that boisterous atmosphere. At least 44,000 seats available. It will be scaling down after the World Cup, as is the case with many different venues here at Qatar. This one, nonetheless, pipped out, was looking towards Antony, and tracking back Sosa just heads it out for a Brazil corner kick. So just like that, not wasting any time, getting back to the action as Brazil looks for goal number 1. And with that, Neymar will trot over to the flag to take it rather than Antony. 92nd minute of play. Neymar taking the run up. He'll whip this one well into the box. Header directed on frame, but didn't end up going on frame. As Paquetá, he was chasing the left-hand side, goes down. Might have been a flop, but he's holding his knee area. So either way, it might be a foul called on Croatia. Haven't seen any ruling yet from the ref. I'm trying to see. I mean, Paquetá had the ball, and I think it was Juranovic with a little push, and Paquetá, in true fashion, decided to flop. Not worthy of an Emmy or Oscar there, unfortunately. It looks like he will need some treatment, though, from the training. We'll put the spray on him there. Either way, out for Croatia throwing. Once again, Juranovic, long throwing forward here. He's going towards Vlasic, who makes the run. Takes down Marquinhos in the process. And with that, it's a foul called there on Vlasic and Croatia. Free kick quickly taken by Thiago Silva. back with Marquinhos. Still in the defensive third, Brazil still looking for their options. They brought in a lot of attacking options there, a lot of interesting substitutions. Their front three, per se, which was Vinicius, Richarlison, and Rafinha, are off, replaced by Rodrigo, Pedro, and Anthony. Neymar still remains in the game, Paquetá, and Casemiro. So your midfield is still there in that respective area. Anthony was pushed there by Sosa, so it will be a free kick for Brazil. This one going forward. That is going forward was Brozovic. No call from the ref, at least from what we've seen, and now he'll call it. Either way, I mean, there's a lot of fouls. It's been a quite physical game so far. Lovren, once again, back towards Livakovic. Gvardiol again, back towards Livakovic, the goalkeeper. Livakovic sending this up pitch, and he almost gave it right back. It's taken off there by Paquetá, but it couldn't direct that towards Neymar. Pekovic, here he is on the ball. And here's Anthony. He goes down, and that's a free kick for Brazil. Again, he's probably getting frustrated and saying, how come these guys haven't got a card yet? A.K.A. Sosa, since now it's two. Sosa could be booked for his intermittent fouling overall. That is a foul, by the way. If you foul enough times, you do get booked. Marquinhos, Neymar. Neymar out towards Danilo on the left. Danilo crosses this one in too far as it goes out for a goal kick. Let's take a look at this too. Neymar going up against Brozovic, going down many fouls so far to start off this extra time period as we're approaching 5 minutes through it. Still 0-0 between Croatia and Brazil. We've seen a lot of 0-0 results in this World Cup. Already like 4, I believe, in the group stage compared to 1. There was only 1 overall. Trying to think of the knockouts. Yeah. I think every knockout stage game in 2018, there happened to be a goal. That's insane. If you think about it. Kovacic, Gvardiol, Modric. Some space there on the right-hand side. He'll take it. Playing out with Petkovic. Once again, Petkovic kind of caught in the middle there. Hasn't done much. He's got a few chances to play the ball through, but either way, I mean, we're seeing him more as a poacher, not really more as a dynamic slash false nine. Nonetheless, Anthony and Brazil in the attack. Kovacic, good cut there on Militao. Nonetheless, this one played with Paquetá, trying to get back, and once again goes out to the left with Rodrigo. Rodrigo now in some space, out towards Danilo. Danilo crosses it in, headed away by Croatia. Now here comes Petkovic. Petkovic, what is he doing? He's just giving it right back towards Brazil. Danilo. Now with Marquinhos. High line for Brazil as well. Anthony whips this one in, going back with Rodrigo. Pedro couldn't get there. Got Neymar in the box as well. Neymar trying to go 1-2 there. Couldn't get the through ball back from Paquetá. Either way, free kick now for Croatia. As Modric went down. Let's take a look at that though. Anthony too with a good touch on Sosa. Boy, as he put Sosa on a swivel. Something that overall Rafinha has not done much. Rafinha opted to cut inside the majority of the match. Anthony able to win the wings per se. Say that fast 10 times. Nonetheless, spinning move there by Brozovic. And free kick will be given. A lot of free kicks, and the ref is not being lenient in much ways. Modric again. Now towards Juranovic. Croatia. Back towards Brozovic. Once again picked up. And with that, it's another whistle blown. We'll see another change. This one will probably be good for Brazil fans. Alexandro starting to come into the match. Started the matches early on, picked up an injury. Was kind of questionable for today's game. Started on the bench in favor of Danilo. I believe Danilo will probably be the one coming off in this stage. Alexandro is also a good penalty taker there, the Juve man. Of course, during his time in club football, as I said before, with Juventus or a Champions League. Without actually, no, they didn't win Champions League. Pardon me. Not even when Ronaldo was there. Marquinhos, Thiago Silva, Danilo, Neymar. Back with Danilo. It's Neymar up to Rodrigo. Out on the left, 25 yards out, clips it in. Good ball in. Just skips wide as Paqueta was the main man in the middle. And again, Rodrigo. Boy, what an impact he's put on this match since coming in. Now they've really started to feel it. I think now that they've got the minutes, they've got a talk from Tite. I think Brazil's wings have really shown up in this one. Rodrigo and then Paqueta. He's playing as a holding mid. He's coming through. This time he was the one giving a little havoc to Sosa. We'll see if Dallas decides to make a change. Meanwhile, Croatia now on the attack. Vlasic, play that back towards Modric. Modric now sees the open space, decides to take it out towards Vlasic. Vlasic's cross cleared away by Marquinhos. One back there by Kovacic, and either way, the foul will go in favor of Brazil. Either way, it feels like whoever's going to score, it's going to be a big player. Maybe Modric, maybe Neymar, maybe some other guys too have come off the bench. Someone who has been an impact player is going to score a goal. That is, if a goal is scored. 10 minutes through the stoppage time period, 5 minutes plus a little added time before the intermission of extra time. Danilo, Pedro, now out with Neymar. Neymar tried clipping it through. He had a lot of guys, Pedro, Rodrigo, Paqueta in the area. Neither one could get it. Militao now on the right. Further out right for Antony now. Edge of the box. Antony, double team there. Vlasic and Perisic in his face. Antony again. Thiago Silva. Silva whips this one in. Still in the area. And it's caught there by Livakovic. He'll fall to the ground in some relief. And I don't know. Neymar might have been going for spectacular there. Let's take a look at that. Or Pedro, rather. Pedro was going for the scissor kick. How about that? Only making his fourth cap at the senior level. And could have scored probably one of the goals of the tournament. Of course, his teammate Richarlison would beg to differ. But overall, Brazil, you have to give credit. I've said this before. I said this too during the break. As Livakovic is citing today, the amount of saves they made and the patience from Croatia dealing with this attack reminds me a lot of the 2014 United States team. Of course, lost to Belgium 2-1 in extra time, but Tim Howard having the most saves in a World Cup match with 17 overall. Modric on the right. Sosa now with Perisic. Back with Modric. Kovacic now cutting inside. He's got some space. Still going on the ball. Kovacic end line cross. Deflected. Stays in bounds. Cross cleared away by Militao. Antony again. Now to Militao. Got some space. Got numbers in the middle. Decides to go to Neymar. Too much of a touch. Crunching tackle by Lovren. Back with Modric. Back with Croatia. Petkovic now. He's the only man there. 5 men back for Brazil. He's still going on the ball. Petkovic now. Petkovic plays it in. Brozovic can't steer it on frame. What a chance for Croatia. How about that dribble, too? How about that dribble by Petkovic? Only man in the area. And there are five Brazilians back, split both of the guys, Thiago Silva and Eder Militao. Laid it off towards Brozovic. I think Modric was also in the area. What a chance. What a chance. 2 minutes plus stoppage time left in this first half of intermission. Once again, pipped forward, out with Neymar. Tried to get forward, wasn't going to work. Modric, Perisic back to Modric. Boy, am I psyched now. This is going to be a good finish. Good finish coming up. One pipped out. Getting there, trying to get there was Perisic. Or rather, Sosa. Here comes Anthony. Boy, look at his speed. Still going on the ball. Once again, allowed to cut back. Poked out there by Perisic. Throwing for Brazil. I don't know what happened. The ref was given a talking to there, and Anthony's surprised as to why or what he did wrong. I didn't see what was wrong either. It's Neymar and Danilo back with Rodrigo. Rodrigo up against Jovanovic. Now in space. Shot off target. Danilo with a good chance there. If only. 105th minute of play here. Still 0-0 between Croatia and Brazil here in extra time. Again, Brazil with majority of the chances. Croatia has not even managed a shot on goal in this one, but they nonetheless have also had their chances. Here's Modric. Brozovic tried setting it up. Modric will help his teammate out, or at least try to. Neymar back with Casemiro. Casemiro lost it there in the middle. Nonetheless, going forward, good run by Militao. Bullish at best. Throwing now for Brazil. 105 minutes through. We'll see how much added time is added, and it's going to be a minute. Again, you think about it, and I said this too, probably with Morocco, Spain, it'll probably be more to that game than this one. But as this game goes along, probably more momentum is going to go towards Croatia. Meanwhile, Neymar crew in the area. Neymar in the clear. Neymar puts it away. It's in the net. And there's the breakthrough. Deadlock broken here in the stoppage time of the first extra time period. Neymar in the roof of the net makes it 1-0 in favor of Brazil. And Croatia now, they have done a great job on defense, but now they'll be the one on the offense. Again, still a lot of time left as that was probably the last kick of the extra time period. So 15 minutes if Croatia were to do something here. But either way, what a sequence as well. Hard to tell who got the last touch. Might have been Paqueta, maybe. Yeah, and I think it was Paqueta. Good one, too, with Neymar back at the net, roof of the net. And finally, the breakthrough comes for Brazil after all this time. And with that, too, I should note, the most goals scored overall for Brazil has been Pele with 77. With that goal, Neymar now ties Pele's record for most goals scored for Brazil with 77. What a goal. What a moment for Neymar and the Brazilians. A sigh of relief at the least. For some people, joy. So that may be a few other kicks, but I would guess we head to the break of intermission as Brazil up 1-0 against Croatia. Question comes, Can Croatia, the team that has not had a shot on goal in this match, get the equalizer? Again, nervy moments, and Zlatko Dalic knows it too. His team fought towards the end. Still got some time left. I mean, this is not the end of it. Maybe one chance for Croatia going forward. Vlasic now on the right. It's Anthony. Now to Juranovic in the middle. Petkovic couldn't get there. Cleared away by Anthony. Only as far as Modric. And with that, never mind. Never mind. Whistle is blown. Halftime here in extra time, and it's Neymar with the goal in the 105th minute plus stoppage time. Again, big goal for a big player. Trying to reach a semifinal and playing a semifinal too. You think about it, he was injured in the knockout stage back in 2014. In what would be, if Brazil were to make it, the biggest game of Neymar's life. He's had some joy, but for Croatia, they're still in it so far. Quick break, and I'll be back in the second half of this extra time period. Okay, folks, 1-0 in favor of Brazil. Now the fans are rejoicing too. A lot of them holding kind of the replica of the World Cup. We're one step closer to hoisting that trophy for the sixth time if they are to hold on in this one. Change made for Croatia as Mayer will come on for Kovacic. First change of the midfield today. Still two changes on the bench if Zlatko Dalic were to put it up. For Brazil, though, what a moment. They're trying to make it to the semifinals for the first time since 2014. They've kind of been in rough luck. Past four World Cups, only making it to the semifinals once, losing in this quarterfinals stage. We'll also see a change for Brazil that we expected to see earlier. Alexandro will be heading on, and actually be Eder Militao heading up. So it looks like, I believe Sandro will move to the left, Danilo will move to the right, where he usually plays. Danilo has been playing the right back position for a while now. A few times it's been the case. I think he actually started right back for a lot of these matches. And then I think in the third one where the reserves were playing, Danny Alves started. More changes for Brazil as well. This will be their fifth and final change, most likely. Paquetá, who had the assist for Neymar's goal, will head off. Fred is now on. Brazil, they're doing this for their country. They're doing it for Pele. And with that, we're back underway. Croatia needs a goal to keep, at least a goal that is, to keep their World Cup hopes alive. Modric. Again, do not count out Croatia. They've had some interesting attacks today, but now with majority of the possession going in their favor, what do they do? Lovren. You got Modric directing traffic as well. Kind of playing backs here, but either way, could be playing higher up the pitch if we see it. He'll clip this out towards Meyer, who just checked in. Meyer hassled there in the middle, and that's going to earn a free kick for the Croatians. Croatians in their checkered uniforms need to do something quick here. Luka Modric take the free kick, sent into the box, headed away by Alexandro. Back with Modric. Now with Meyer on the left. Brozovic now. Back with Meyer. Meyer now cuts, crosses it in, cleared away by Fred. Modric over the top two on Neymar to win that one back. Gavardio. 1 point to you. Maybe sub out a center back for a forward if you're Croatia. Croatia. Perisic, that is, with the cross in. Modric giving chase to it. Can't keep it in play as it's out for Brazil throw-in. Arguably, this could be Croatia and Modric's last game at a major tournament. Of course, this team has Nations League coming up later this year. I believe they've qualified for the finals, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, a lot of chances that are, I should say, semifinals and final for the Nations League. They still have that going. Modric could go away with a major title, but nonetheless, unable to win one, too, at any stage, that is. This team was out in the round of 16 in the Euro, losing to Spain. Nonetheless, here's Pedro. Pedro's still going, and Lovren will cut it out, plays it back towards Livakovic. Gavardio, back with Livakovic. And nonetheless, the Croatian attack tries to mount again. Modric again. Meyer actually on the ball, I should say. Nonetheless, out with Gavardio now. Sosa. Modric. Brozovic now on the ball. Brozovic now to Perisic. Perisic whips it into the box. Header and Petkovic can't get there. Big chance again. And Rodrigo once again clips it up, looking for Pedro on the counter. Cleared out here by Gavardio, who goes down. Free kick for Croatia. I just took a stab there. It's actually Neymar there on the attack. Pardon me. Either way, big goal and a big moment for Neymar and Brazil. Just less than a minute into the stoppage time period. Perisic, Modric now. Skips away. Last touched off Brazil. Corner kick for Croatia. Once again, Luka Modric. Readies from the corner flag. 110th minute, so about 10 minutes, 10, 11 minutes plus stoppage time left if Croatia were to get an equalizer. Change coming here as we're going to see Sosa head off, and heading on will be number 17 for them. Number 17 being Ante Budimir. So Budimir will head on. Budimir listed as a forward. So there's your change from defender to striker. Brozovic, Meyer again. Cuts inside. Now it's back out towards Modric on the right, or left rather. Brozovic, now to Meyer. Meyer left-footed into the box, back post, brought down by Petkovic. What can he do? Lost the ball there. Back towards Neymar. Numbers coming forward towards Brazil. Neymar lost the ball back towards Croatia. Switch with the quick throw here. Brozovic. Midfield. Plays it out once again towards Modric. Coming up after this, Netherlands against Argentina. We'll have the stream live for you right here on YouTube. Gavardio. Back out towards Modric. Modric back post. Looking for, I believe, Perisic. Still in the area. Now cleared away by Fred. Lovren. Now it's Lovren going forward. He will whip one into the box. Still going. And the last touch there and going down was a Brazilian. Budimir trying to get his head to it. Was Thiago Silva going down? Think about that. What a goal! What a goal for Brazil. And I said that too. I mean, didn't you guys hear me say that whoever scores is going to be a big player or someone coming off the bench? Like I said too, goal number 77 for Neymar. That ties him with most goals all time for a Brazilian with the great Pele. Petkovic tries to fight for it. Still high up in the air. Rodrigo is going there, pushed the Croatian down to the ground. Free kick for the team. Now currently trailing by one goal. They need a goal in the next 8 minutes plus stoppage time if they are to keep it alive. Another foul, this time on Pedro. Croatia currently inching their way closer towards goal. Here's Modric. Gavardio. Juranovic. Now it's on the right again. Meyer. Gavardio again. Back to Modric in midfield. Modric out towards Perisic. Perisic now going end line. Can't get across. Shoved off the ball there. Good work there. And the Brazilians love it. Yeah, so it's a good tracking back. Anthony, believe it or not, on the track back there. Just enough shove to not warrant a foul, but enough to see it out for another Brazil goal kick. Another change coming for Croatia. This will be their fourth change. Brozovic is off. Now in the game, I believe another forward, Orsic, is on. Yes, indeed. So now got a bunch of forwards in the area for Croatia. This one played back towards Brazil. Now, once again, they're in the attacking third. Anthony trying to see this one out. Meyer will recollect back. Will be a Brazil corner kick. Again, the Brazilian fans on their feet right now jumping for joy. As I said, still a lot of time left if Croatia were to get that equalizer. Neymar, Fred, Anthony. Now to Neymar goes down, free kick, Brazil. 115th minute of extra time. Here's another chance. Neymar out towards Anthony. And the possession keeping continues for Brazil. This one flipped up, still up in the air. Still there. I just seen him like Gavardio back towards goal and Livakovic. 5 minutes plus stoppage time if Croatia were to get something here. Lovren pips it on the left too far. Too far overall. Back. Here's Fred trying to get in the clear. Good crunching tackle there by Gavardio. Eventually sent up by Lovren. Perisic heads it up, headed back there by Brazil. Modric played it forward. This could be dangerous here. This one played out in the wing. Here in the middle, this one's square. The shot deflected, and it's in the net. A goal comes in for Croatia. Bruno Pekovic has tied it up. 116 minutes through. We are back to square one here at Education City Stadium. Oh, wow. That is what you call substitutions of the ages. Well done there, Zlatko Dalic. And Brazil caught on the break. This is what you love about the World Cup. Petkovic is going to get a yellow card for this for taking his shirt off, but what a sequence there. So when played out, couldn't tell the number, but either way, a great cross in by Orsic and Petkovic. Combination between two substitutions. And with that, it's 1-1. As it stands, we are heading to a penalty shootout here. And the craziest thing about this, folks, I got another game to call after this with Netherlands, Argentina. Holy smokes. Holy smokes, is this game amazing. That, too, to note, that was Croatia's first shot on goal in this match. First shot on goal, and they buried in the back of the net. Bruno Pekovic. So anybody who took Alisson, you're probably not loving yourself right now. And that's totally understandable. So nonetheless, back to square one. As I noted earlier, including this one, 8 of 9 Croatia's knockout stage games have gone to extra time. 4 of those have gone to penalty shootouts. Could get another one here. For Brazil on the other side, they have lost their last 5 matches to UEFA teams in the knockout stage ever since beating Germany back in 2002. You never know what could happen here, folks. Maybe we get a winner. I don't know. Foul called as going down there. I couldn't tell who it was. Might have been Budimir. Yes, it was Budimir. We got Orsic wearing 18, Petkovic wearing 16, Vlasic 13. Still an available option for Dalic if you wanted to bring someone in for a potential penalty shootout, as we have a minute 30 plus stoppage time left. Gavardio clears it out, throw in for Brazil right at midfield. As I said, everybody on their feet, the bench from both sides on their feet for this one. Lovren cuts it out, goes down, free kick Croatia. A minute plus stoppage time remaining now. Modric will take this quick, and without the ref will whistle here. Looks like there is a player still down, and once again up. Make sure everything is according to regulation. It's 1-1, 1-1. Modric, Juranovic. Back with Juranovic in some space. Juranovic shot! Just wide. Or Meyer, rather, but either way, nifty chance. Nifty chance, just couldn't steer it on frame. And with that, folks, we have reached 120 minutes in this match. 2 minutes of stoppage time coming up. Foul called. It was Lovren trying to get the ball there. You have to think about it now, too. Even if this goes to penalties, momentum most likely in Croatia's hands. Meanwhile, here's Antony going the other way. Antony cut out there for a second by Gavardio. Perisic, call for the foul there on Antony. Free kick for Brazil. Still a lot of time left. A lot of time left, probably a few chances left for both sides as we approach a minute or so left. Minute and a half left in stoppage time. Orsic, the only man in the wall for Croatia. This one almost on the touch lines. That's how far it's going to be. Not as much as a corner, though. But either way, a chance. Neymar standing over the ball. Neymar again whips us into the box, headed up, still in the area, still going. The shot saved by Livakovic. Another great one. Still in the area, so it's Alexandro. And now that thing they'll call offside. Still got some time, about 30 seconds left. So let's take a look at this. Casemiro with the shot, and again, Livakovic with a great save there. So technically, you think about it, Brazil would still draw this match, so they would break their losing streak at least of being eliminated, or rather, against UEFA teams in the knockouts ever since 2002. They still break it, but they're still not on to the next round. 120 minutes through here from Education City Stadium. Last World Cup match in the stadium, and boy, oh boy, has it been a good one. Neymar got the goal about a minute into stoppage time in the first half of extra time before it was Bruno Petkovic off the deflection. First shot on goal for Croatia there in the 117th minute to give them a 1-all advantage. Still equalized, still a lot of time left to be played, and now it comes down to penalties. I'll be back in a few minutes to give you that electrifying shootout right after this. So after a lot of times, a lot of times, a lot of chances, we're tied up 1-all, and we are heading to penalty kicks here from Education City Stadium. I'm your Here's Awesome. Thanks for tuning in on this Friday afternoon again. Gonna have a quick turnaround right after this. 2 o'clock, I'll be calling Netherlands against Argentina. But for now, it's all focused on what's ahead. Of course, that man right there, Dominik Livakovic, has had a day so far for Croatia. Overall, despite allowing Neymar's goal, in which Neymar took a nifty touch around him, you think about it, pretty good. 10 saves on the day, Livakovic. For Brazil on the other side. They brought in guys too. You have to give some credit to Tite. They brought in Alexandra. They brought in Fred, guys who are used to shooting here in a penalty shootout. Once again, Luka Modric and Thiago Silva meet up to discuss the toss. This will decide who shoots first and who shoots next. Excuse me. Historically, a team that goes first in the penalty shootout ends up winning. So it looks like the penalty shootout is going to happen on Brazil's side of the pitch. It's going to be Croatia shooting first. So Big moments there. Dominik Livakovic for Croatia, Alisson Becker for Brazil, and of all the kickers too. This is what the World Cup's all about. 5 games into the knockout stage. This is now the third game to go to, or pardon me, 9 games in the knockout stage. This is the third game to go to a penalty shootout. Stepping up first for Croatia, number 13. That too being Nikola Vlasic. Vlasic, of course, the guy who's been on the ball a lot, kind of playing out on the wing. The man from Torino, 25 years old. Going up against Alisson Becker. This to start off the penalty shootouts. That is until the goalkeepers come. We still got some time left. My apologies for the run up there. And now it looks like there's a talk between goalkeepers to make sure at least one foot is on the line. Got Alisson on one side, Livakovic on the other. One playing for Liverpool, the other playing for Dinamo Zagreb. And just a little more time too. I mean, I can imagine what's going through Vlasic's head right now. And just thinking about different types of perspectives and just that time too. I mean, it's almost like icing the kicker too. We see in the NFL. So penalty shootout, Vlasic to take it here against Alisson Becker. Timing's still running up, so it's a lot of time left in this one as well. Whistle blows. Vlasic steps up, puts it right down the middle. No way Becker was getting to that. And Croatia starts off the penalty shootout up 1-0. So now it's out towards Brazil on the other side. Stepping up, Rodrigo. Rodrigo again. The man from Real Madrid showing up in big moments for his side. Many of his teammates, including Neymar, playing there in the middle. So it's a Rodrigo against Livakovic. Rodrigo runs up, shoots it, saved by Livakovic. And Croatia retains their lead. Oh my word. You know, some people say that I have a black tongue. Those people are right. And I remember saying, I said this before the match started. I said it's going to be Croatia 1-0. Actually, in my big lineup, I actually had Croatia winning this. So I don't know, but who's up? Who's taking it? No other result has been shown yet. Now it's 2-1. Second one has been converted. Casemiro has converted for Brazil. No clue who is converted for Croatia. And now it's Luka Modric stepping up to take it. This to extend the lead for the Croatians. Once again, the captain, Luka Modric, runs up, takes it right in the lower left corner, sends Alisson the other way to Modric's right. 3-1. Now things get interesting here. Brazil's kind of got their back against the wall. And that's exactly the penalty. Even Alisson had gone the right way, it would have been a tough penalty to save there. So now Pedro steps up. Of course, big moment for him. One of the 3 guys still playing in Brazil. This to once again keep Brazil in this penalty shootout up against Livakovic. Steps up and sends Livakovic the other way. Livakovic dove to his left and Pedro slotted it to his right. 3-2. Still big moments. Again, let's take a look at this run. Decent run up and again, a good slot home away there by Pedro. So now coming up for Croatia. Again, those guys, I mean, Dalic himself can't even look at it. Orsic to take this next one. So you got Orsic going up against Alisson. Steps up, right in the corner. Alisson dove the right way, but Orsic did it better. Dribbled it across the ground, kind of fast in pace. And either way, buried it right there. Made it his baby. So now Brazil has to make it. If Marquinhos were to miss here, Croatia is on to the next round, of course. Marquinhos, a man who has been playing well. Another PSG guy, his teammate Ashraf Hakimi, scored the game winner for Morocco on Tuesday. Marquinhos against Livakovic. This to either continue it or end the shootout. Here's Marquinhos off the post. And with that, Croatia is on to the semifinals. Brazil is out of the World Cup. Oh my word, what has happened? Ball game. Ball game. Oh my word. That is amazing. And that, folks, is why you call football the beautiful game. Zlatko Dalic has tears of joy. For the Brazilians on the field, tears of sadness. And for the second consecutive World Cup, Brazil, listed as the favorites to win it all, are out in the quarterfinals. Wow. Wow. What a game. Livakovic with a save. Casemiro made his penalty. Pedro made his. Marquinhos sends his off the post. Livakovic actually dove the right way in the penalty as he dove to his right, and Marquinhos was also going there. But either way, the post was Croatia's savior. Luka Modric, 37 years old, in his last World Cup, still keeps his title hopes alive, trying to bring a major tournament title back to Croatia. And the Argentina-Brazil game that could have been will not happen. Little embrace there with Modric and Casemiro, former teammates at Real Madrid. And Neymar once again. If this was Neymar's last World Cup, what a run it's been. Of course, even today, tying Pele's record for most goals by a Brazilian. It was a valiant effort, but in the end, Croatia's defense won the game, especially too. Just to recap, Neymar ended up scoring the goal, the opening one, about 105 minutes into it, 15 minutes plus an added minute in extra time. And then afterwards, after the little intermission, it was Bruno Petkovic with the equalizer for Croatia. What a game. What a game. And at the end, Croatia will face the winner of Argentina and Netherlands later today. That one is coming up at 2 o'clock. I will have a live stream for that right here. For now, I'm Yahir Hassan. If I don't see you later, catch your breath and stay safe.